If you've got a job or a hobby that involves standing all day, then at some point you're likely to have experienced foot or leg pain. While standing up for short periods of time is okay, it's not so good when you're doing it long term because it can be detrimental to your health. If you're up on your feet all day, you can end up with problems like back pain and muscle aches, sore feet, and neck and shoulder pain, and so on. So while some of these may be temporary, others are not and could cause you long-term health problems. So here's some suggestions on what you can do to relieve your tired legs if you've been up on your feet all day. When you've been on your feet all day, it isn't unusual to get swelling in your legs and inflammation, and that can make you feel uncomfortable. So it's going to impact your blood flow, your circulation, and that blood is going to pool in your legs and ankles, and you get a fluid buildup that's called edema. A great way to tackle the problem is to elevate your feet and your legs above your heart when you come home. And that stops your heart having to work so hard and allows your blood flow to normalize, thereby reducing the swelling. The easiest way to do this is with a leg elevation pillow. If you've not seen one before, I'll put a link below. They're kind of a wedge that you put your feet onto, and you can move the wedge around. You can put it on your bed, put it on the floor, put it on the sofa, and it does a great job of solving that issue when you come home from work. I'm not an expert on stretching, but I do know that if I stretch my legs and my body after I've been on my feet all day, it makes a big difference to how I feel. Now, if you don't know what muscle groups to use, I'm not going to recommend any to you because I'm not an expert in that area. But you can buy a book that I recommend called 1500 Stretches that talks all about flexibility and movement, and that will give you some ideas of what you can use in order to solve your problem. Now, if you have a little bit more of a serious problem, in other words, you're getting this really quite regularly, so you're getting those puffy ankles and tired, sore legs, then you could think about investing in a leg compression massager. Now, obviously, this is a bit more expensive than a bit of stretching and a leg elevation pillow, but I thought I'd mention it because technology's moved on. These are great devices that compress your legs and help that blood circulation start to flow through your legs. And you can buy them reasonably priced on Amazon. I say reasonably because obviously, as I said, they are, 4 or 5 times more expensive than maybe an elevation pillow. But as I said, if you're investing in something for your longer term health, maybe it's something that you want to think of. A slightly cheaper option is a foot spa bath. Lots of people have them in the house. They aren't very expensive now. You can pick them up everywhere. And they're a great way to relax the muscles in your feet after you've been stood on them for a long day. They're also great at helping to relieve stress and to boost your blood circulation. You can put Epsom salts in them or essential oils, and some of them have massagers in there as well that you can massage your feet with. So it might be worth thinking about using one of them. Prevention for me is better than a cure though. So I would suggest you really start to look at your footwear if you're having these issues. Of course, if you're standing on your feet all day for hours and hours on end, it isn't great. But if you've got the right footwear, it does make things a hell of a lot easier. And you really need to be looking for a couple of things, in particularly the stability and support in your shoes and the cushioning that's within them. Now, as you can see here, I've just put a picture of some Hoka shoes or Hoka sneakers. Hoka are a really good brand for, not just running shoes, but for walking shoes and for shoes that you keep, on your feet for long periods of time. So they would definitely be something you could think of. I personally use a brand called Vionics. They also do sneakers and just normal shoes as well. And I love my Vionics. They've been great with my plantar fasciitis and tendonitis in my feet. So if you've got a little bit more problematic feet, have a look at that brand. I mentioned support earlier. Well, now I'm going to stress that point. If you've got flat feet in particular, you need some good support in your shoes or in your sneakers. And the easiest way to do that is if you've got, I don't know, shoes like Vans or Converse that don't have much arch support in them, is to buy some orthotics. Orthotics can normally be slipped quite easily into your shoes, and they do make a world of difference in creating that support and stability that you need, and a little bit of cushioning as well, which is great for your feet. Couple of other things, compression socks. You can see runners wear them a lot because especially if they're doing long distance running like some of my family do, it's a great way, you know, to stop that tiredness in your legs and to keep the blood flow pumping. And compression socks are relatively easy to wear and to buy. You can pick them up on Amazon, and they're just a good device just to keep your legs feeling a little bit better. You can take them off at the end of the day, and it will stop that blood pooling in your ankles. Finally, last but not least, I'm going to mention a foam roller. It's not something I would personally recommend for people who've got limited mobility, because as you can see here, you've got to be pretty flexible to use one. But if you have got that flexibility, foam rollers are a great way of, you know, smoothing those and soothing those muscles in your legs as you roll it up and down them. And that helps to increase that blood circulation as well. So think about that, but as I said, it wouldn't be my favorite one to use, but for some people, you know, it works. For more shoe reviews, footwear fixes, and handy tips to help with your foot health, head on over to my blog at chicpeddy.com, where I talk to you about all kinds of footwear fixes to help your feet.